Welcome into the ATB Show, atbshow.com. All the links are there, the social mediums where Rubber Shoes does the wrap-up and rant every morning on all of the things. It's just the people who care this week. You know, we get the vacation boys. You got Corey, ironically, is actually closer than normal because he's usually down in South Kakalaka. He's in beautiful downtown Maine. Could be in the bushes, Scotty. Check the bushes. Check the bushes. He's back up north. I think we are right now doing the mechanics. I think next week we may have. And Scotty, what is your availability on Tuesday next week?
I'm going to be in Ohio. I'll be in Ohio.
We almost had it. I think Adam will be back, so we might have Adam remotely. But I believe we're going to have Corey and Rubber Shoes here in the Portsmouth studio.
Beautiful.
And then we're going to have a little, I don't know whether it's going to be, we're going to go Mexican or Asian, but we're going to get some snacks after the fact. And that is Tuesday before Corey gets back on a plane to go back to South Kakalaka.
Bring your clubs. Go play some golf at tour.
1,000%. I don't think he packed them already. I think they're probably already not with him, but we'll figure it out. I have extra clubs. So that could be next Tuesday. Other than that, and Adam is down at Cape Cod. What was the show? Was it Lilies and Lobster Rolls? What was he doing? What was that show we did a couple of years ago? Tulips and Lobster Rolls.
Picking tulips. Yep.
Tulips.
I think that was a Connecticut thing. Now he is actually on the Cape. Adam, one of us who and Rubber Shoes, of course, still holding down the fort. Adam and I both former massholes. So he is on the Cape with the family this week. And again, Corey is away from the productions, the production this week, but he is actually in Maine. So Scotty in beautiful downtown Maine, Rubber Shoes in beautiful downtown LA, and myself here in Portsdale. So probably the biggest thing to discuss, and we'll discuss all the things. Here's a fun fact for you, Rubber Shoes. You thought I wasn't paying attention, and I didn't. I actually talked to Cheryl today and didn't bring this up, although it is mind-bending. The Red Sox are 13-1 on Sundays.
Yeah, I know. It's a crazy stat.
Like, so if you're going to watch Scotty's like, why does Grandpa Lindsay even know that? First question.
Yeah. God bless, man. Wow.
Yeah. Wild stat. I heard it somewhere. Clearly I was not running the numbers. Yeah. Hold on. Can't start the week out without running all the Red Sox stats. Holy smokes. Said no one ever. 13
if it wasn't this past Sunday, it was the Sunday before that they were talking about it on the Sunday.
Yeah, I caught it somewhere in the ether, and I was like, "That's interesting." We got to talk about the fact that the ownership of the Celtics dumped a whole bunch of money into the team, and I think there's some tea leaves to read in the Celtics story, and of course the Bruins have signed a few people, and we'll get to all that. But can we get to the Celtics first? Do we get there first? I think because it's just the soup of the day, and we have to discuss the fact that in the green room, pun intended, Rubber Shoes, who is top to bottom Celtics, was calling Scotty onto the carpet because he's cross training, and you have a Red Sox hat. But does that say Fenway or Citgo?
Fenway.
It does say Fenway. Okay, not that it would matter if it said Citgo. Anybody in North America still knows what that means. So, that you can't wear Red Sox and Patriots. Some of my best New England.
It's an OCD thing.
It's just you're grading him the wrong way. That's all.
My adult Garanimals don't let me wear stuff like that.
I'm sorry.
At least you said it.
For a second, did you say Garanimals?
His adult Garanimals. I love that he used that term.
Probably
what the hell is that?
It's.
Hold it. Scotty, do you not know what Garanimals are?
I do not. No.
I think they're still around.
So no, Scotty,
I know what animal crackers are. Like
Scotty, and I'm not making fun of you. Rubber Shoes and I are having a moment. We're having a moment because yet again, Scotty is reminding us that I carry more silver and Rubber Shoes is, I don't know, just going to call you old. Modelo's, brought to you by Modelo's, not a sponsor yet. So Garanimals, Scotty, back in the day, it was a brand of children's clothing that you could purchase. And I don't know, was it this is where Rubbish is going to step in with the information. Red Sox 13-1 on Sundays, and I think every piece of clothing had an animal on it. So as long as you had hippo pants and hippo shirt, they matched.
Garanimals for adults.
Oh,
it shows
wait a minute! Wait a minute! They have adult Garanimals.
Garanimals.
What are we doing?
Walmart sells Garanimals still.
Of course they do. But wait a minute, Scotty, you're on a Garanimals for Adults website. Is that an adult website, or is it
I was concerned
a Garanimals website with clothing for adults? You have to clear this up.
It is, so you can find it. It's called like capsule wardrobes. It's a Pinterest thing, I guess. I don't fucking know.
Oh no.
There's a lot of them apparently, but
it
does say Garanimals. The second thing in Google, Garanimals clothing, 1970s.
Well, you're looking at it.
That was like that Sears. It was like Sears, right? I think that had those.
Welcome to the show. Probably.
Oh my God! Look at the images. Wow. Yeah, that's amazing.
Well, throw one up. Give me one. Throw one up. I'll use my spot so you guys can talk about this.
Okay. So,
what do we got?
Where to begin? Hold on. Yeah, you want me to share my screen?
1,000%. Yes.
Yes. All right.
Yeah. So probably like late 90s, early 2000s, a place that I was working.
Oh, can we? Blow that up. Blow that up.
One of the girls I worked with said, "You have like Garanimals for adults," because I had to, shoes, shirt, hat, everything matched, everything went together. So, and I still have that problem. So,
what is happening? Look at
there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on.
There's a lot happening.
Yep. Here. Oh yeah, that's the 70s, baby.
Said nobody. Ah!
See tops and bottoms.
Yeah,
so all you had to do was match the
animals together. Yep.
And if you match the animals, then you knew that
means that outfit goes together. Yep.
Yes. Look at the hair. It's amazing. Garanimals for great value.
It's so funny, Scotty, that you're ripping on all of this because my mom. So my sister.
I just think it's spectacular.
Well, no, just the fact that we're having this conversation is funny because my mom, I was on the phone with Cheryl this morning, and she's like, "I'm trying to find something to post for your sister." It's Jennifer, my middle sister Jennifer is celebrating a birthday today, and Cheryl's trying to find a picture that she hasn't posted in years because she's like, "I feel like I post the same thing all the time." So she went and found from what my dad used to call the wall of shame in my parents' house. Down the hallway, the main corridor of the hallway, once we graduated, we had our full circle of pictures with our senior picture in the middle.
Too much fun with this.
Yeah, this is
good. Sorry, I'll stop sharing. That's wow.
Oh, you're all right. You're all right. I'll come back. So my mom was trying to find a good picture, and she went and found Jennifer's picture of all of her pictures, and then her senior picture in the middle. And it's on Facebook, and I know Rubber Shoes is probably connected, so you'll be able to see it. Cheryl posted it, and Jennifer so Cheryl writes, blah, 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 happy birthday, Jennifer, love you very much, and Jennifer writes back, and she's just like, love you too, Mom, even though you posted this, because the pictures are captivating, will be the word I'll choose on her birthday, right? And then all I wrote was, you would think at some point the state would have stepped in. Right, because there's a couple of shots where she looks like, I think it's her 6th grade picture. It's right at the bottom. It's right at 6 o'clock on the circle of pictures, and her forehead, much as in the Lindsay family, we got this from Shirley. Her 5 head is on sale, in the 6th grade photo. She's rocking the 5 head. That's awesome. Yeah, so Garanimals are a thing. Garanimals are a thing. Are you looking at it now, Rubber Shoes? You're not finding it?
It's amazing that. We went from, Billy's Phantom, rule book of you're not supposed to mix local sports teams to 1970 clothing wear. It's spectacular.
I mean, actually, so Patriots and Red Sox kind of something because they're both, red, white, and blue. They kind of do work together. I mean, I have cross teams. Like if I have a green Red Sox hat or a green Patriots hat with some Celtics attire and stuff. I have done a little dabbling, you know.
But why would you have a green Red Sox or a green Patriots hat?
St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patty's Day.
Okay.
I've had like my Celtics shorts or, you know, like a red Patriots shirt. Like, I don't know. It doesn't really, I don't think it matters personally. I just grabbed this because, you know, it was there and it was clean.
Yeah.
But I had been like going like this all day with my hair right before we came on. So I felt like it looked like shit. So I was like, I'll just grab a hat. And this was the one under
fine.
my,
you look
my
fine.
desk.
You're allowed to cross train. So I'm going to throw this out there because I think this is, there's some credence behind this, I believe. The fact that
I like it.
Yesterday, which I thought was really funny. Like I think I jumped on first and I'm like, Celtics for sale. Wow. And then Scotty's next thing in the thread is that they grabbed Tatum for the 314 and it's good. And Derek White for the 126 and it's good. But I feel like everybody's whistling past the graveyard and we're for sale. Now, here's the thing. And I get all this and this isn't breaking news for anybody who's keeping up. I get that. Wick is going to stay in the governor's seat, as they call owners in the NBA, until 28. So is any of this late breaking and it's going to happen tomorrow? No. And it also feels yesterday, all the money that they dumped into the team yesterday feels like a situation in where they're like, it was almost like a sign and trade. Like we're getting, you know what I mean? Like we're doing this because we know that we're good. And it almost reeks as if they know, like the person that's going to take over is already in the conversation.
And honestly, I think, you know, they also read, like, you know, they looked at the team that they have here. And now, granted, Chris and I were talking about this last night. They're essentially like their starting five, right? So you have Brown and Tatum, and then you have White, Holiday, and Porzingis. So you got them all locked up for the next 2 seasons, but it's going to cost you, I mean, in totality of all their contracts combined, not obviously over the next 2 years, but you've invested about $1 billion in those 5 players, you know, because obviously with Tatum and Brown, each having over 300 million, over 150 or about 149 for Derek White. And then you got Holiday's contract. And then you got Porzingis is like coming in like which Holiday's is also 6 figures. And then, or larger than that, but you know what I mean? So,
yep.
I think they looked at it as the collective bargaining agreement and everything that's wrapping up. Obviously the cap just went up and I got to remember, I'll have to look it up. I'm blanking on the actual number that it did go up, the TV money that they're about to get.
Red Sox are 13-1 on Sundays. It's the only stat I have. Sorry. I'm just going to keep repeating it because it's the research I did this week. Dana Barros. There, we're done. I can take it the rest of the show.
I was just going to say, and Dana Barros is also going to get extended by the.
He didn't get re-signed yesterday. Insulting is what it is.
And so, yeah, I think honestly, it was just he's doing kind of what Cuban did, where Cuban realized that, hey, I'm going to have to spend a significant amount of money to keep this team, you know, at least competitive. And I've been doing it for a long time, and I just I still want to be a part of it, but don't really want to be the one flipping the bill, especially with the outrageous numbers that are being thrown out there. I mean, you look at like what's his name, Hartenstein that used to be on the Knicks, went to the Thunder, and he's making more money than the Knicks' highest player, Jalen Brunson. Right, so there's this crazy cash being thrown around again in the NBA. It's outrageous. It really, really is outrageous. The amount is being spent on players. I mean, Derek Jones, who did not have a good NBA Finals, by the way, had a decent playoff run, but he just went to the Clippers, I believe, and he just got like $70 million for like 3 years, something ridiculous. I'm like, it's Derek Jones. That's who you're replacing Paul George with. I don't know, but so I think Wick was just looking at it as we're going to have someone lined up. I've heard a million rumors between, you know, from Tom Brady being somebody to jump in there, to John Henry, you know, which we kind of all, you know, despised and joked about.
Well, the gross part of that, and we'll drill down a little bit more on that. The gross part of that is LeBron's in the mix. Because LeBron's part of the Fenway Sports Group.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's gross. It's super gross.
Corey just jumped in on the chat and said, and added that article that if Wynn bought it and built an arena over by Encore. Now, why does that not make sense? Because it's so close to the Garden. Why does that not make sense? Because the Patriots, they can't wear the same hat and shirt at the same time, but the Celtics have to play basketball in the Garden. That would be sacrilege. And
no, but the thing that if Wynn buys it,
also, go ahead.
The Celtics are tenants at the Garden.
I'm aware. Yeah. I was just going to say
so
that.
They make no money off of concessions. They probably make just a percentage of the seat prices. So in order to, if someone's going to come in and buy it, especially if it's a casino, they're going to want to get the max out of it, and they want to have it on the lot where Encore is already, and build upon that area and draw everyone there instead of across the river.
I completely get that. It just seems so. It will be odd for them to not be in the Garden.
It's not the Garden anymore. They built a new building.
What?
It's not the Garden anymore. It's called TD Garden, but it's not the Garden. They knocked that down.
I appreciate that.
It was the Fleet Center originally.
I get that.
There is no history there, really.
2 championships.
The banners will move over to the new building, and then
I know, and I absolutely love the Wynn play more than I love John Henry stepping in.
Yeah,
and I just to back all this up, we're going to be all over the place tonight because I think this is such a huge topic. The irony is, I feel like we jinxed ourselves because just a week ago, I believe I titled the show, "We Will Get Paid in Parades." We were throwing flowers at his feet, and I still do. And I love that we found out the little nugget.
That's what he said.
The little nugget that we found out in the last 48 hours. I don't know about you guys, but the fact that his name is Wycliffe, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
His full legal first name is Wycliffe. I'm like, yes, I'm in. Yes, tell me more, Wycliffe Jean. Yes.
I like that.
So we were so excited because we have this ownership, the blueprint that everybody could steal from. We'll get paid in parades, just be in love with the sport, be passionate about the sport, be passionate about the program and the history and the tradition and the fans. And he's like, well, I do love all this, and I'm also going to be sensible about this. I mean, if for a million reasons, and family estate planning, his dad and whomever else wants to take their chips and go home, God bless, because they've been great stewards of this team since 2002. I want to see it done in a way I'd much rather have it be Win, and I love that rumor's there because I truly think somebody's already part of this conversation. It's being engineered by somebody already, and I really hope it's not John Henry. And he's done great things. I'm the first one to say it, and I say this as a buoyant Bostonian. The seats at Fenway are still from 1912 before they invented food, and I still think they've done a great job making that museum of a ballpark be still a cool place to go. It's still an awesome. They've been great stewards as well, but it's like clearly falling off, and now for them to have another distraction and another major sports team, like I don't want. I don't know. I don't want his chocolate and my peanut butter. Like that one is enough.
To see, I know NFL has a rule that you can't be a player and own part of a team, where LeBron is still playing. I don't. Fenway Sports Group probably cannot.
Wick wouldn't step away until he would. By the time he stepped out.
But I mean, the paperwork would be in the process, so I'm wondering out loud. I have no idea.
It depends on how long LeBron wants to play for, right? Because if Wick would still be there till what, 27, maybe 28?
They said 28.
He said he would be there until the final closing in 2028.
Yeah, so then LeBron most likely is going to be gone at that point, right?
But I don't know if the paperwork, if you could start the paperwork with him being on there or not. Like I'm just wondering. I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. I don't know if they even have a rule like that in the NBA.
But can it be different that he's an maybe they change him as an investor in the Fenway Sports Group and not an owner in that team? Because Fenway Sports Group could take certain figureheads and make them part of the ownership team for this new Celtics venture, if that's the case.
Yeah.
I'm sure that, like, to Billy's point, 4.5 people smarter than the 3 people on this show are probably at the table figuring this out. So I'm sure they'll just figure out a way to make it happen, or pay whatever fines they have to pay, or LeBron will exit from the NBA earlier than he expected.
I mean, I think, there's so many rumors out there. There's not going to be, I don't think you probably actually won't hear anything for a while, in my opinion. I think it'll probably be out there for a little bit. I will say, though, I am happy that he's doing this like this. He's not doing a John Henry, where he's saying Celtics fans are spoiled because, we're struggling right now and we don't want to spend the money. Yeah. I'm happy that he's saying, all right, look, I've invested since 2002. I've brought 2 banners. I'm at the point now where I've done what I've needed to do. And apparently my daughter is coming in the slider door.
I thought you found Corey in the bushes.
She let the cat in. I know, right? Yeah. So
Corey's out in the pool. He's early.
So, and so I think with him doing this, I'm happy the way that he's going to be, taking that like side step and like, all right, I'm done, or that backseat, and he still be a part of it. He's not going away. And I'd rather him do it this way and at least spend the money. He invested in what possibly could be an amazing 2 to 3 year run for this Celtics team. They're set up for near and far, future at this point, with what they've done. So the near term looks really, really good. Even with like George going to the Sixers and a few other moves that teams have made, nothing is like, being like, oh shit, we're in serious trouble in the East.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like that, does not look that way, but so it'll be something that you'll keep an eye on. I don't think, like I said, in my opinion, which means absolutely nothing. Maybe you'll hear something in like another year, maybe 2.
You don't think it'll be that long before we find out who's involved?
I think so. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe somebody.
I hope so, because the suspense is killing me. Because if it's Fenway Sports Group, we just get more time to be angry, which Rubbish is looking forward to.
I don't want that. Nobody wants that.
Let me ask this question, and we don't know, but we're here to bloviate anyway. What's your dream sequence?
For ownership for the Celtics? Jesus.
Bird, McHale, Dana Barros. No.
I was thinking like, a combination of like, Bird and Bird and Brady, the double Bs or something like that. They come in and they, get a piece of it and get in there. But I don't really know, to be honest with you. I don't really play in those pools, when it comes to the
it's either going to be a huge group of people, or it's going to be one of the billionaires.
Yeah, like, somebody we didn't see coming. Yeah.
Bizon or Musk or something.
No one saw Wick coming. You know what I mean? Right. No one saw him coming. He kind of came in and
but we're going up another tier here. Like it's going to sell for like $5 billion.
It's
yeah. What do we think the number is? I heard yesterday a few different numbers that I thought and with all due respect, I think the $5
Cuban
billion
sold
seems
for $4 billion. I think.
Really? Okay. So do you think 5 is accurate? You think 5 is where the number is?
I think it's going to be in the ballpark. Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah. If not higher. I mean,
because they grabbed it for 360, right? Wasn't it 360?
Yeah, it's like peanuts compared to what they're selling for right now. Yeah.
Unreal.
Well, it's 22 years ago, right? So it was like it's obviously things have changed a lot. So I mean, it's insane, that he was able to obviously first buy it and get the capital for that, but now you actually have like, a dozen, maybe more people that could come in by themselves and purchase it. But it's going to be I'd say at least $5 billion, if not more.
Yeah.
It's one of the most storied franchise in all of sports. Number one. Number two, they're hugely successful, and, they're really, like I said, he's not leaving them like a pile of garbage. You know what I mean? Like when Wick came in, let's just say that 0-2 team wasn't knocking down anyone else's door, right? They weren't great. That was the end of the Patino era. Like it wasn't, Larry Bird's not walking through that door. You know what I mean? All that shit. Like that was the time that when Wick took over. Yeah. So
he was able to buy
who's ever taking over is like, he could buy it cheap at that point, but he's leaving it in pristine condition.
Yes,
you know, it's like someone's buying a used car that has very low miles, so to speak,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So he's leaving in amazing condition, and you know, as long as they're competent and they want to win, right, and hopefully they have the same mindset that Wick did, you know, then yeah, you know, let's rock and roll. But like I said, it's just not a pool that I really play in. I don't really dig these types of rumors. I'm more of a players person than ownership stuff.
That's they were saying yesterday that's why they like all of a sudden they're re-signing everyone, because that actually makes the franchise worth more by having these big huge stars already signed up. Because I know some places they sell off, you know, in baseball it seems like they get rid of the big stars and try to get the salary as low as possible before they sell, but not true in the NBA.
Well, I guess the next question is how the starting five is locked up for 2 more years?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So all right. So 24, 25, 25, 26. All right. So you're still looking at like 2 more years after that before the new ownership would totally take over.
Yeah.
I love the win play. I think that'd be super cool. I think it'd be awesome to have that space. I also thought, wasn't the conversation over by Wynn that they were hoping that they would also investigate? This could be interesting. This is where Kraft wanted to put the field for the Revolution.
Yeah.
As well, right?
Well, I thought, I think that was in the Seaport. I think the Seaport was for the Revs.
Oh, was that? Okay. All right. Well, could he be somebody who's in the conversation?
I don't think he has that kind of money. I mean, that's a
no. I know, but again, I don't think we're gonna unless you get Zuckerberg or Bezos or Elon. You're not gonna have anybody who's really gonna stand alone and pull it off.
It's either gonna be like 100 millionaires together, or there's gonna be some big pocket guy that comes in and says, I want this all to myself.
Like I would like, and you know, this is like pipe dream, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway. Like Affleck, Damon, Donnie Wahlberg, Tom Brady, like the jabronis of Boston, right? Just like
that's the thing. It's like
that would be hysterical, dude. Right?
It'll be like take 100 of those guys to be able to do this.
Jimmy Fallon, like the list could go on. Just boom, boom, all these, you know. That would be hysterical. I would love to see that. It's I think at this point the win rumor
that just
seems
puts
pretty
it
strong.
In perspective how like all those guys, those 5-6 people you just named, those 5-6 people together couldn't buy it.
Mm-hmm.
They would need a lot more people coming in, and they're worth a lot of money. They're just not like billionaires. Is freaking. That's a lot of zeros.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, I appreciate the fact that they rent. And it's funny having that conversation with people over the last few days, and people are like, oh, I didn't realize that. I'm like, yeah, don't forget before the Garden was all black seats. They used to be black and gold. They tried to make it look like when it was empty, it wasn't empty. Remember they were doing that hodgepodge thing with the seats? I'm like, oh, I didn't realize. I said, yeah, Jeremy, the Jacobs own the Garden. The Celtics rent from them. And a lot of people don't realize that. My mom actually, she's like, oh, I sort of thought it belonged to the city, and they both just used it. Nope. The Jacobs are getting paid.
I like how she like, everyone singing Kumbaya like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yep. That was Maya Menino's.
But I mean, obviously with White and with White and Tatum stealing a lot of the headlines because of their enormous numbers. Over the last couple of days, though, the Celtics also re-signed Cornette to a 1-year deal. They brought him back. They restructured and then signed Keita, whatever, the Namus. They re-signed the center, the big guy there that we all liked last season, to a 3-year deal, right? So they brought him back.
See that. Oh, that's nice.
So, with the fact that they have like Holiday and Porzingis and
they
White and Tatum and Brown.
Option, right?
Well, I'm sorry?
They picked up House's option.
They did, yep. They picked up Hauser's option, and they're hoping to extend him for maybe 2, but we'll see. I don't think they will, only because of who they drafted, and then Jordan Walsh being, hopefully ready, by the time Hauser is done, deal's done end of next year. And don't forget, they also have Pritchard locked up until 28, 27, 28. So they are in a really good place now in regards to, youth and experience. I don't know what Horford's coming back for. I know because his contract was up. I haven't seen what they're going to give him other than the fact that Wick said that he was coming back. Which, by the way, Wick said that. I don't know if Al actually said that. I don't think I've actually heard him say that he was coming back outside of the fact that he told Wick and Wick told people. You know what I mean? It was that kind of a thing. So anyway, for the Celtics perspective, not just Tatum and White, which were and should absolutely be the headlines of the whole thing, because God bless, thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
But they also locked up some other younger talent. And don't forget, Porzingis taking on a surgery means you've got 6 months without him, 5 to 6 months potentially. Yeah. So you're looking at, basketball is only 3 months away from starting again, right? Like the end of October is, the beginning of the regular season. Early November. So it's only like it's not a long, and plus in between that, you have the Olympics this year. So there's a lot of, there's going to be a lot of movement with these guys too. So it'll be interesting to see, if, I think their rotation or Joe's rotation is going to have to expand a little bit, and hopefully getting these guys back keeps that, familiarity and consistency, hopefully, you know what I mean, that they've been part of the team and they've been there before, so to speak, even though they really didn't play very much. But
they were floating out the luxury tax bill for next year.
Oh boy.
It's going to be in the ballpark of $500 million.
Yep. It's a big one. Oops.
It's unbelievable.
That's the money that doesn't, all these restrictions that are going to kick into where they're like, if they make trades, it's going to be equal money. There's no, like, they have to be 1-for-1 even money. And then draft picks start falling off the board. Like if you're in the second apron, you lose your first round pick.
Yep.
So this is all in, and you're seeing what's Golden State, them losing Thompson. Not that he was that good last year anyway, but you're starting to see what's happened to them, and that's before the new collective bargaining agreement. The Celtics are going to be the first team that's really in this new one, so we have no idea what it's going to look like in like 4 or 5 years. This could. Brad Stevens he did a really good job getting to this point. His real magic is going to be at the tail end of this.
Did you guys see, or do you guys think that Clay ends up with the Lakers? Do you think that's the thing that's happening?
Oh, he's with Dallas.
He's in Dallas. He signed with Dallas.
When did that happen?
Yeah.
I thought
yesterday.
He signed for.
I thought they were still talking. I thought they were still talking last night that it could go to the Lakers.
No, so the latest for the Lakers, that the latest rumor at least is that LeBron is willing to take a pay cut to get DeMar DeRozan, who's one of his buddies, to come to LA. So that's it's a big thing, and I actually half expected Chris Paul to end up there once the Warriors waived him, but then he went to the Spurs. I'm like, how do you want to ruin a young team? Get Chris Paul on there. Congratulations, you fucked it up. It makes no sense. I mean, Popovich will be there, so if Paul starts to pull some of his BS, Popovich will just sit him down, and he can just sit there and whine on the bench, and Pop won't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's the best thing about Pop. But outside of that, it's just like that signing to me makes zero sense. It almost makes less sense than the Paul George to Philadelphia, only because
I was just going to ask you, do you like that move? No.
As a Celtics fan, yeah, because I don't think he fits.
Okay.
You're bringing in like
2 career losers together.
Well, that number one, that's very true. And number 2 is you're bringing in a guy who's he needs the ball in his hand to be most effective. And you got a kid on the team in Tyrese Maxey who's coming off a monster year.
Yeah.
And they just extended him. but he's also kind of a on the ball, or has to have the ball to be as effective as possible. It's not like where Clay is like a spot up shooter, and to me that's what they possibly needed. But with Oubre Jr. and Paul George and Maxey, and then of course Embiid, I don't know if there's enough ball to go around. I mean, Tobias Harris is gone at least, so because he was also that way. But Paul George is a step up from Tobias Harris, but is exactly the same player. And to me, it doesn't really make much sense. So
I thought the Sixers looked the best when Embiid was out. Like with Maxey controlling the ball, they flowed really good. And now
they should make T-shirts that say "Trust the absence."
And George in there too. As they're going to suppress Maxey. I mean, he's a really good talent, and I think they're going to bury him with the egos around him.
Yeah. And you think about Paul George, who is a phenomenal player, but he is actually, it's official, he's getting up there in age. And he's done absolutely nothing with his career. When he went to L.A. and him and Kawhi, I was like, oh, man, if they stay healthy, that team's ridiculous. They went to one conference final, one out of the 4 years they were there. They lost in the knockout round in the last 3 years, knockout round and the first 2 rounds, in the first round in the last 2 years. So the last 3 years, they haven't even made it to the second round. And they spent how much money on that? Like Steve Ballmer is over there going, yeah, whatever he's doing. But
do you think Clay makes? Do you think Clay helps them, Dallas?
Oh, absolutely.
Are they going to be a pain in the ass next year?
They needed a spot up shooter. They needed someone that could, like, you think about all the times that Luka drove and kicked, and there were people with like Derek Jones Jr. with open threes. I'm like, go ahead. You can shoot that. I'll let you shoot it all day. You know what I mean? There was plenty of guys on that team that I had no problems. Washington. Yeah, go ahead, PJ. Shoot it all day. You want to shoot that? That's fine. There were so many times where they let him drive and kick, and we say, we'll live with you making those shots. Now, did they make those shots in the Western Conference Finals? Absolutely. But it wasn't going to last, and it didn't last. And it wasn't, I mean, they got hot, during a bit in the stretch in the playoffs. And then Luka obviously took over and won some big games, and so did Kyrie during their run to the finals. But they needed someone that can just spot up and shoot. Now, the real question is Clay going to be that guy? Is he going to be the spot up and shooter, or is he going to try to look for a shot more? And what's his legs like? Because at the end of last year, his legs were gone.
Yeah, he didn't have a great year last year.
No, he really didn't.
He had stretches where you saw the old Clay, but overall,
he was streaky.
He was, yeah.
So I think it's a good signing for them. It gives them championship experience and a shooter, but we'll have to see how his legs do, essentially. But we'll see.
Interesting. All right.
What about so I haven't seen the Bruins stuff, though. I'm late to the game on that. So who did they bring on?
So they signed Elias Lindholm, who was like he's probably the biggest ticket out there. He had an off season last year.
Yeah.
What?
And yeah, he's like Stamkos is going to get the headlines because of the name, but Stamkos is past his prime. But Lindholm, he's going to take over for Bergeron. He'll be the first line center. And he had like I said, last year was a little off. He was like, he played part of the season with Calgary and then part of the season with Vancouver. But the year before, he had like 42 goals and 80-something points. So that's what you figure. You put him between Pasternak and Marchand, and looks pretty good. They signed, I don't know, the defenseman they signed, Zadarov.
Nikita Zadarov.
Yeah. I don't know much about him. He was also, I think, on Vancouver. So we got two Vancouver guys, and I think three Bruins went to Vancouver. DeBrusk, Forbort, and Heinen went there, and Grizzlick signed with John Henry's Penguins.
I hate the Jake's gone though. That sucks.
Oh, he had to go.
Why do you say that?
He's for the money that he's getting. He should be a better player, more solid. consistent. He's he'll get 5 goals in a week and then he doesn't score for a month. They still have some. They signed a ton of people yesterday. I think they had like 7-8 players that they signed. I don't know much about the
draft pick, and we're not going to talk about the draft pick.
Let's talk about the draft he's going pick. To BC. You must be excited. Dude's a monster.
Yeah, Dean
6'7",
going in as he's a incoming freshman at the Heights.
Yeah.
And we've got I don't know if we stepped away or not. We've got a kid that's been drafted in the past, like he's was already with the team. And I don't think he declared to step away. So we already have a Bruins draftee on the team, and now Dean Letourneau will be joining BC as a freshman this coming fall.
He's a big kid. He's a
monster.
Chara playing center.
Yeah, he's a monster. So yeah, pretty psyched about that. That's pretty awesome. I just love the fact that because I feel like, and for obvious reasons, like I'm not. Well, I think there's people that would argue I am a dullard. I'm not a dullard. Like, I completely understand why we're not, like, feeding football players to the Patriots, but I feel like we don't, and outside of Dana Barros, I'm going to hold on to that for the rest of my days. Like, nobody else ever gets to play for a Boston team. Like, the BC kids always end up on the Giants or, like, some team that annoys me.
Falcons.
What's that?
Falcons.
The Falcons, yeah. Matty Ice over on the Falcons. See, they put him in the Ring of Honor. They brought him in. He made a speech to the team, and they put him in the Ring of Honor.
Absolutely should.
That's happening, which is pretty cool. But yeah, we just so it's the only sport I know that we're ever going to get anybody to end up local, and it seems to be churning right now, which is pretty good. But Dean Letourneau, to your point, Rubber Shoes, is a large child, man child, which is just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
You can't teach size.
Yeah, right.
Speaking of which, the defenseman they picked up there, Zardoff, is 6'6". He's not quite Chara, but he's a big kid. Dude.
Well, who's the other kid? The other kid that popped up this year. I was at the game that Francis and I went to.
Oh, Mason.
And some kids.
Lowry.
What's his last name?
Mason Lowry.
Might be. There was somebody
tall ginger.
There was somebody on the team who's just a monster, and I forget. That name doesn't sound familiar though.
He was number 6. He he's like 6'7", 6'8".
And then you put him on skates. It's just like monsters.
Unless you're thinking of Maroon, Pat Maroon. He
might have been Maroon. Body. Maroon was huge.
He's gone.
Yes.
He was. I mean, he was
a
shell of himself last year. He re-signed somewhere else. Yeah. So they still have. I don't know if all the other picks are people that are filling it, because I think some of them were just like, might be two-way contracts, like they're Providence and have a chance to make it to the Bruins.
Gotcha.
All right, Red Sox, 13-1 on Sundays. We got that covered. That'll be on the quiz later. And I know we're a ways out, but we might as well prepare now for total ambivalence when it comes to the trade deadline. Like, is there any probability we actually do anything? Is there? Well, I mean, so I get, well, like, improve upon what? I get that. And
no, but right now they're in the wild card.
I know they're in the conversation right now.
I think they're a game and a half back right now after the 2 losses against the Padres, but they're right there.
But then they won on Sunday.
Core is
they did.
What's that?
I said they won on Sunday. They at least get one out of the series, so they won on Sunday.
I mean, their starting pitches is starting to come back to earth. Houck is pitched. They said today he's had the most innings in a season already.
He's my favorite. I love that kid. I mean, Brian Bayo's awesome, but
let's get positive right now. Let's say we have it's All-Star break in
he's doing it
2 weeks.
We're doing it now. Right? We're going to do it right now. We're going to get positive.
Yeah. All-Star break in 2 weeks. We have.
I said it's okay. We can do it.
3, possibly 4 players that could go to the All-Star game. You got Houck, Duran,
the Hulk,
Devers, and Connor Wong are all there. When I was listening to broadcast on Sunday, they were saying Wong should, but because of other teams every team having to have a spot on the team, that Connor Wong might be left out, but he's definitely in consideration. But they're saying, there should be 3 definites on there. Houck, Duran, and Devers should definitely be on the team this year.
I haven't been. Hi, Joe and Leslie. You've been to Fenway this season. Scotty and I have been eschewed from that opportunity. All that aside, hi, Joe and Leslie. If you've been there this season, can you tell me? Because I feel like it's come and gone, and I don't think it's a thing right now. But they have dipped their toe into the concessions of Fenway in the past. Our dear friends, the Wong family, who own the Kowloon. I just feel like there's a marketing opportunity here. Is there not a marketing opportunity that they should be doing some food item with Connor Wong? And if you feel like I am,
racist,
no. Wow, you skated right to that puck.
Why did it have to be Kowloon? Why could it be,
his last name's Wong.
Joe's Beef Burger,
His last name is Wong. His last name
would be
is
Wong if they didn't get involved.
Yeah. Now we're on to something. Yes.
Yep.
So, I don't know how Kowloon doesn't step in and do something. They have done stuff in the past. We'd have to go into the microfiche of the concession tomfoolery at Fenway.
They would have to open a whole store there. They're not just going to be able to have one food item.
Oh, they could have a little kiosk. Are you kidding me? They'll figure it out. But they could do something. If not, they should at least have him up to the great campus on Route 1 in Saugus and have him do a commercial for them or something. I mean, I don't know how they haven't made this happen, where they actually share a last name.
He's not a wrestler.
Because there is that. I know, but the great Red Auerbach, one of the few wonderful humans on planet America that ever lived, has his own thing on the menu. Like they should be doing. They should
the
do
pictures
something.
In there. I think it's like 90% wrestlers on the wall.
I completely. You know what? As I have baptized more people here at the office and gotten people to go with me, because so many people have never been, and then I bring them and they're like, "We're never going back. That was disgusting." And it is what it is. As long as the Wong family doesn't turn the lights on, it's going to be fine. But if you've been there, it is what it is. All that aside, I had one of my agents.
You have a short distance down to the Brook.
I'm not going to the Brook one. The Brook one is going to be a bastardization of Kowloon. I'm never going to go to that location.
I'm willing to meet you there, Scotty.
You guys can take pictures. Tell me all about it. Okay. Somebody made a great suggestion, and it's so true because they would never know. There's so many pictures in that restaurant. One of my agents is like, Timmy, you should just get an 8x10 of yourself and just hang it up somewhere. Like, when would they ever see it? Like, we should get a group photo. Don't we have a group photo with Mr. Wong? We have a group photo outside the restaurant, but it's all grainy. Who took that picture? It was like the Zabruder film.
That's perfect. No. What you do is you get it
because it looks like it's been there for years.
Yeah, we reprint it in sepia tone.
No, what we do is, and then you put it into a frame, and then you let that frame sit in the sun for a little bit, and then get some dust on it, and then somehow you bring it in and you just put it up there, and
just
there you
3
go.
of it to the wall, baby. Yeah,
actually get mixed tile so it just sticks. Those things are great. I got a bunch of them in here.
ATB now stands for all the teriyaki beef. There, we're working together with the Wong family to do something with Kowloon. Not a sponsor yet. Brought to you by not a sponsor yet.
Change it to ASW.
What would that stand for?
All the Saugus wings.
ASW, all the Saugus wings. You know what? I'm not a fan anymore.
What?
They
I know you're younger than me, but you act
what
older.
Are we doing? They overdo the hoisin sauce, the brown sauce that they put on the hoisin sauce. There's way too much on there. It's not mixed in the hoisin. There's too much hoisin sauce, and they don't do sesame seeds anymore. That was the je ne sais quoi of the whole thing. Like that's what made it. That's a little dusting of Saugus on there. I don't know.
You won't go to the Brook, but you're gonna make fun of the Saugus wings.
I'll make fun of the whole goddamn place. I love that place. I will be down there when the Wrecking Ball shows up. single tier, like the Indian in the littering commercial from the 80s, or was it the 70s? I can't remember if I had Garanimals on or not. But do you remember the littering commercial where the Indian was standing there crying? Yeah. Yes, you do. Scotty doesn't ask your grandparents, Scotty. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Which I believe he really wasn't Indian.
Oh, my God. That's the word I was looking for, cultural appropriation. I wasn't trying to culturally appropriate Connor Wong. Yeah. He's got the same last name. I was reaching for appropriation. You ran right to the racist word, which it was not. It was not. I might have culturally appropriated.
All right,
and yes,
stereotypical.
Yeah, well, you're not going to send him down to Jamaica Plain to do a commercial at O'Doyle's, which is now closed.
Why not? I mean, you could figure out a way to make it, get Wyclef to join over there. It'd be fun.
No. Gone until November.
Yeah. By the way, do you know how much the fan vote counts towards Major League Baseball All-Star voting? Right now
they've changed it like a million times. I don't know,
because I follow this really great account on Instagram, Brewing with Socks, I think it's called, and a guy does an awesome job, and he was saying that Jarren Duran, who to me, forget about anybody else other than maybe Hawk, but on the team deserves to be in the All-Star game, and he's 16th. You have people
16th overall or 16th in outfielders.
16th in outfielders.
Oh,
and outfielders, you have Alex Verdugo being voted over him, and I'm like, good Lord, come on, what are we doing here?
I don't, because the fans, you could vote up to 5 times and stuff. So I'd be I know outfield in the American League's really hard to get into, especially with Soto and Judge having monster years, and Steve Kwan having a good year and stuff. But Duran's got to make it, man. He's got to make it. He leads the American League in triples and doubles. He's right up there in stolen bases. He's just I don't know. I think that's what they think. The players and coach votes will get him in.
Yeah.
All right. So you this is like the debate the other night. You avoided my question, Senator. So what do we do at the trade deadline? What could be what's the thing? If
I think pitching.
Throw sanity out the window. Throw logic out the window. Who do we get?
I don't know what's available. And it's so much harder now because of the 3 wild card positions, that so many more teams are still in it. I wish they would make the trade deadline a month later. You do it into August, because
Labor Day.
Right now, there's such a logjam of teams that are still potentially in it that it's harder. And that's the other thing where it drives up the price to get players, where that's why I'm not holding my breath that they're going to do anything, because one, I think Breslow wants Cora out because he wants his own manager in there. So I don't think they're not going to
fix it on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh, Kaylee's all over it, Timmy.
I don't think,
Timmy.
Honestly, I don't think that
what
they're not going to want to give up players from their farm system either.
Yeah.
And a full library, Kaylee. I like that. A full library. Yes.
I don't know. Hold on, I'm jumping into the chat so I can see what's going on here. What tomfoolery is taking place.
She just wants to make sure your picture is up there. I think that's really the most important thing that you should take away from all of this.
All right.
But their farm system's really good. They're really young right now. They can be even younger. I don't think they want to mess that up. And to Billy's point too, it's so hard to see who's going to be out there anyway, in regards to who's available. But on top of that, they're not going to want to pay for anybody, right? They're not going to want to spend money even after the fact. If they bring somebody on that's a top tier pitcher, are they going to want to pay his contract, or they have to go and find someone that's on an expiring contract or something? They're not going to. I don't see them being very active. Even if they're a game and a half out of the wild card, and I think that John Henry and the crew, this is super successful for them. You know what I mean? They're very happy right now. And I don't think they're looking to change it.
I just hope that when, the problem is they have, I don't know if this is the right word, but I'm going to say it. I didn't go to college, but a plethora of players that
Jesus, that'll be on the
are
quiz
playing
later.
kind of the same position in the minors that they can definitely dangle, so this is where it pays the general manager gets paid off by you see these 3-4 players that are playing the same position. You know the one that you think is going to be the guy, and then you can trade the other two, but you're always hyping all the players saying, oh yeah, this guy's in the top 10 of the prospects and this and that, and okay, we'll trade him. We always beef up our own players, but I get sidetracked so easy. I was listening on the way in, Rob Bradford. They said that the latest prospects, like Baseball America, the Red Sox have 3 guys in the top 25 overall.
Yep. And I think 2 of
them they do have a couple carrots to dangle, and that's the thing. It's like if Mayer's the guy, you keep him, and you trade. I don't know all the young players coming up right now. It's on the tip of my tongue. But you keep him, you trade the other guy, and you can make some moves and start at least acquiring more assets for other positions.
Yep.
I just want to. I hope and pray that when they get close enough where they're 1 or 2 players away from making a run at it, that they actually go out and get guys. You can only develop you can't have great players in every position that you develop. You get your nucleus, and then you add the players here and there to finish the product. And I just hope that when they get there, they're still willing to do that.
Who do you think Breslow, if he's just sort of standing at half court dribbling, running out the clock, waiting for Cora to want to leave, or waiting for it to get bad enough that Cora has to be let go, which honestly right now this is an improvement over last year, so that's not the case.
Yeah,
I think a lot of fans still like him. I think the clubhouse still likes him.
Yep.
So if Breslow's the only one that wants him to go, he probably needs to pull the trigger and do something. Who's his guy in your head?
It's the pitching coach. I think it's Bailey.
Yeah, we talked about that a while ago. Like that they're buddies.
Yeah, he was handpicked to come in here from him, so he might be the heir apparent.
He's the one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I was hoping for Veritek personally, but
yeah, I think
that could be great. That'd be great.
That could be amazing. That could be amazing. But I mean, because they do have you're thinking maybe because for some folks like Bobby Dahlback could be available because you have Nico Cavadas that could back him instead. From the playing in Worcester. Whether it's I mean, they have some decent pitchers, but not like a ton. And I don't know. I don't think you get rid of Blaze Jordan or Marcelo, but I don't know. It'd be something. Roman Anthony. I don't think you get rid of him either. There's a lot of really good talent. And Anthony's obviously an outfielder, so they have so many outfielders. So do you get rid of I don't know.
Right. That's the thing. It's you have to know your talent. You pick the two that you think are going to be the can't miss kids and trade away the others and just bring more. I mean, they need pitching depth in the minors is not there right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I used the right word, I guess.
You did. Plethora was correct.
Oh, you crushed it. That was perfect.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Haley said good word. Okay.
A+.
So let me ask you this, guys, as we know we're getting close to overtime here, but as I'm heading towards the Pro Football Hall of Fame, 2 things. One, have either of you been there before?
We've been there multiple times. I'm going to get the number wrong, so I will defer to the travel agent that I live with, since I'm the passenger princess. I'm going to say we've been there no less than 3 times.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've been there. We've been there. I think twice. We've been there after they won the Super Bowl. Once we were there after they lost the Super Bowl. I can assure you that the cool film that you watch while you're on tour is much better after you won the Super Bowl, for obvious reasons. Yeah, it's super cool. It's where you're pulling up to it in the middle of Columbus, Ohio. It's as boring as you would expect on the outside, sort of.
Yeah.
But Canton, Ohio, and you're like outside, it just looks. It's a big building that looks like it needs a hug. Maybe they've made some improvements as of late, but when you go inside, yeah, dude, it's history. It's awesome. It's a good time, and it's I don't necessarily think it's a whole day, but I don't think you're gonna get much else in that day. There's nothing else around there to see, so yeah, it's well worth it. We wouldn't go back multiple times if it wasn't, and I think we just did it because obviously Aiden's age and interest kept growing, and we're huge suckers for stuff like that. Now, you know what?
Have you been to any of them, Scotty?
I'm sorry?
Have you been to any of the...
Oh, yeah. I've been to the Basketball Hall of Fame.
See, I've never been to Springfield. It's right there.
Springfield's the one.
What?
So I've
really?
been to... Wow. I've been to Cooperstown. I've been to the NHL Hall of Fame in Toronto. And Springfield's like... I mean, Toronto, the NHL Hall of Fame is very strange. It's in the end of a mall.
What?
Yes.
Oh, God bless Canadians.
Question. Asking
and
for
Cooperstown's in the middle of nowhere.
Which version of you went to the NHL Hall of Fame?
Let's see. Was I a Bruins fan the last time?
Such a dick. I can't believe you even said that out loud.
I'm trying to think of when it was pre-COVID.
Oh, answer carefully.
I'm wearing my Oilers shirt and hat in the picture with the
He's
Stanley
got
Cup.
a photo on the wall. Put that in Kowloon. We're halfway there. What are we doing?
I had my Connor McDavid shirt on. I don't think I was a Bruins fan.
When was Connor McDavid on the Bruins or the Le Habitants? What were you? You had randomly had a Connor McDavid shirt on?
The best player in hockey right now, so.
Okay. When did you
just
go?
Don't. Yeah.
Because Connor McDavid just got to the NHL. So like what? Like not just, but most recently.
He's been there longer than you think.
Okay. How many years?
So him and Eichel came in the same year.
So it's been 7 years, 6 years, 7 years?
Yeah.
Okay. You were not a Bruins fan then, I can tell you.
Nope.
Yeah.
No,
so you were so the Montreal Canadiens version, that Funko Pop version of you was at the NHL.
Yeah, and I think when I went, they had an exhibit that was the old Montreal Forum locker room, which was pretty cool.
Did you roll
9
around
years.
in it? Did you strip all your clothes off and roll around naked in there? What were you doing? What was that moment like for you?
There were tears, I'm pretty sure. It was awesome.
Did you curl up in a ball in Rocket Rashad's locker and suck your thumb and cry? What happened?
No.
You sure? You can tell. It's just
my wife was nice. She let me have the moment. So
my God. God bless Steph. Anyway, all right. For Scotty and Rubber Shoes.
2 parts.
There
was a second part, which was real quick. I'm sorry. It's probably not going to be quick.
Go.
I said the second part was with the enshrinement coming up and stuff with Freeney and Hester and Andre Johnson and, Julius Peppers, Patrick Willis, all absolutely deserved. Just give me one name, and it's hard to do. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be Patriots, whatever. Who's missing from the NFL Hall of Fame in your
Dana
eyes?
Barros.
That's hurtful.
Who's missing from the NFL Hall of Fame?
Pro Football Hall of Fame. Yeah. Who's missing? Like who do you think should be enshrined that's not enshrined yet?
Oh, come on. You know my answer.
Flutie.
Of course. I'll die on that hill.
Is he not in there? I feel like he should be in there.
No, he's in the Canadian Football Hall of Fame, but he's not. Yeah. He's probably in the Canuck thing because he won like 6 Grey Cups and all that stuff. Flute Dog's not in there.
Drawing a blank.
Oh, he's in the College Football Hall of Fame and the Canadian Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah, actually, because years ago there was an event that Nathan went to through KW, and they were down in Hotlanta at the College Football Hall of Fame. He's like, I'm going, and they're telling everybody they should have a college shirt, and he's like, And Nate went through our dear friend Brad to UNH, but he never went to university. And I'm like, and he's like, you got a shirt I can borrow? I'm like, do I have a shirt you can borrow? So Nate's down there marching, very appropriate because we're all the same size, we're all the same height, right? So Nate's down there marching around in his Flutie shirt.
That's awesome.
And it's like, yeah, I don't know. And Joe Piccolo, he probably had no idea whose shirt it was, but
I mean, without seeing a list of players that are not in there that people think that, I would say off the top of my head, I'm saying Rodney Harrison.
1,000%. And he's not in there. He's not in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm saying like one. I know he's not in there, but I'm like I don't know what other really good players. Like I may think they're in there. I don't know. I always feel I have a huge heart for Bo Jackson. I'm sure he's not in there, and he probably didn't play long enough to be there. But he was a great player when he did play.
He's in the college. He's in the Hall of Fame, but yeah.
Kaylee says I lost credit for my good word.
Oh boy,
it must be the Bruins. I think it was the Bruins thing.
Yeah.
Scores back out. Scores back to zero. We're back to zero. So who is it for you, Scotty? Like who's you're doing your research obviously before you go because you're going to make sure that you find all these busts and you're like, oh, this guy's got to be in there. Where's he located? And he's not. Who is it?
I know most people that are in, so it's not. For me, it's Harrison's probably like top 3 up there for me. I think he absolutely 1,000% deserves to be in there. I don't know why he's not. Honestly, and honestly, because I know he has. I'm pretty sure he's retired long enough and has the opportunity. But Vinny Wilfork to me needs to be in there. Vince Wilfork's up there for me. Like he was absolutely dominant for so long. For players that are upcoming that haven't, obviously Brady's going to get in or whatever. But for like players that are upcoming, but looking forward to like their enshrinement speeches, I'm actually looking forward to JJ Watts because I think he was amazing and that dude could just tell a tale. I really could listen to him. So I'm looking forward to hearing his enshrinement and stuff too. But I can't wait to go. I'm going to be, I already told the boys, I'm like, I'll be emotional. I'm like walking around. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be a lot of, memories and stuff for me because, grew up with football and stuff. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's, for me, it's the Baseball Hall of Fame is my favorite.
Your happy place.
Yeah.
He's too confused at the NHL Hall of Fame. He doesn't know what shirt to put on. What do you look like in the parking lot there? Is it like
a baseball
before he goes into the Hockey Hall of Fame?
Is it like a Celine Dion concert? You're not sure what shirt to put on before you go in?
He gets sprayed by somebody on the way to through the mall with like some perfume before he walks in.
I mean, Timmy, you know this. Like when in the 70s and stuff, we didn't have Red Sox weren't on.
Of Garanimals.
Every game wasn't on. So there was always the game of the week every Saturday. And so there was so many players that I loved from all over baseball and like going there, seeing, like I was fans of, I still, for baseball, for me, number 1 is Pete Rose should be in there. And then 2, 3, and 4 is, or 2, and 3 is Clemens and Bonds. Like, I don't care about the whole steroid era thing. It's like those 3 guys, and especially with the way gambling is now, it's like Pete Rose should be in there.
Yeah. Rules have changed.
Deal friend Dale Murphy should be in there.
Yes.
Absolutely should be in there. And it's
so
sad.
It's funny you should mention him being an Atlanta Brave. So one of my Rubber Shoes wrap-ups, I had a comment from someone saying that he loved it and that Jesus loves me. Thank you very much. And that he's like, oh, can you wear, I'm a Braves fan. Can you wear a Braves hat or a Braves shirt for one of the wrap-ups? And I'm like, well, currently I do not have one, but I will be on the lookout for one that will, and I could definitely go with a Hank Aaron with the Braves. So, I think he's all Atlanta. I could always do a Deion Sanders Atlanta Falcons also. So I'll be on the lookout for that. So I could do that for B Dog out there.
Rubber Shoes is getting a primetime shirt.
Yeah.
Love it.
I would do that. Yeah.
I would do that. Yeah. Love it. All right. We're escaping. We're going to have Scotty on vacation next week. Adam, possibly from the Connecticut studios. We're not sure. We're going to be back on Tuesday of next week with Rubber Shoes and Corey here in studio in Portsmouth, and then we'll maybe we'll have to have a post game meeting at Kowloon. We're not going that far. We'll probably just go right.
We could go to the Brook.
They're not open yet.
No, I feel like they are.
No,
they've been advertising it a lot.
We'll look into it, but we're probably not doing that. We're probably not doing that. For Corey and Adam on vacation, for Rubber Shoes and Uncle Duke's, it is Timmy. We are the ATB Show. We appreciate you checking us out. We'd love for you to share and comment and subscribe, and we'll see you in and around the internet. It is atbshow.com. Thank you to Joe and Leslie. Scotty and I are looking forward to those club seats or the skybox, and we promise we won't steal the steak tips. We'll be very respectful. We'll be the best non-employee you ever invite. There it is. See you, boys.